A trip of a lifetime, planned for years, has turned into a moving nightmare. You are trapped on a speeding steel machine surrounded by wealthy strangers, and you just completely lost control after an offensive action. You will not believe how bad things got. There is a secret language on a luxury train. It's not spoken, it's the eye roll, the heavy sigh, the quiet fury when a few bad habits turn a dream vacation into a week of frustration. This isn't just a simple etiquette mistake. It's a complete breakdown of basic respect, a public humiliation. On these ultra-luxury trains, privacy and quiet are gold, and one passenger just threw all of that out the window. A $15,000 ticket cannot buy class, and the backlash from the other passengers wasn't just swift. It was devastating. Every cruise has a story about a passenger who ruined a great day for everyone around them. Today, we're exposing the 15 cardinal sins of luxury trains, the fastest ways to become the most hated person on board. Let's start immediately with
Part 1. The Amateur Paparazzi. In that quiet, romantic lounge car where everyone is enjoying afternoon tea, there's a guest. Instead of looking at the scenery, he lifts his phone, snapping photos left and right. And he's not taking pictures of his wife, mind you. He's aiming it straight at another couple in the corner. The woman spotted him immediately. "What the hell are you doing? What right do you have to take my picture?" The entire car went silent. He even had the nerve to argue, "I was just taking pictures of the scenery." But the woman was not having it. "Delete it now. Delete it in front of me." Oh my God, he had to delete the photos in total humiliation. Trust me, from that moment on, no one in that car would even speak to him. But the real drama was yet to come. Part 2. Fashion that flouts the rules. That night was the formal dinner. Everyone was dressed to the nines. Evening gowns, suits, and ties, looking like something out of a movie. Suddenly, this general walks into the dining car, and guess what he was wearing? Floral shorts, a tank top, and flip-flops. Seriously, he looked like he just stumbled in from the local market and got lost in a royal banquet. The maitre d' immediately blocked him. "Sir, I deeply apologize, but the dress code for this evening is..." The man puffed out his chest. "I paid a ton of money for this trip. I'll wear whatever I want." Oh, a heated argument broke out. The result? He was invited back to his cabin to dine alone, embarrassed and hungry. That man's noise was nothing compared to the guest at the bar. Part 3. The Drunkard Show goes live. There's a line between having fun and being a mess. This guest crossed that line by a mile. He was guzzling alcohol like water, then started singing loudly, then staggered around, spilling an entire glass of red wine on a woman's white dress. The woman screamed. The couple at the next table, celebrating their anniversary, their faces turned ashen. Security had to intervene, dragging him back to his cabin. Did he think he was in a roadside beer joint? Ruining everyone else's holiday. Part 4. The Playground Express. You know, kids are active. But this is a luxury train, not a park. One family just let their 2 kids run wild, stomping down the corridors, playing tag. The peak was when they ran into the dining car, screaming, crawling under the tables. A passenger politely advised, "Ma'am, could you please ask your children to be quiet?" The mother just scoffed. "Oh, they're just kids. Why are you so uptight?" Uptight? People pay $5,000 to be in peace, not to listen to your kids scream. You can still forgive kids, but adults being slobs is unacceptable. Part 5. Like we said, this isn't your living room. Even when it's not dinner time, there are still general dress codes for the lounge car. But no, there are still people wearing ripped jeans, sportswear, propping their dirty shoes up on the antique velvet sofa. Do you know how old that sofa is? It's probably older than their grandparents. Where is their sense? But speaking of hogging space, we have to meet
Part 6. The influencer saint and the selfie stick syndrome.
The observation car has the best panoramic windows. Everyone wants a picture. But there was this one couple. They weren't just taking pictures, they were filming a vlog. They set up a tripod, held out a selfie stick, and commandeered the best window. For 45 minutes straight. They posed, they kissed, all while a long line of people waited behind them. An old man got fed up. Are you two planning to let anyone else see, or did you decide to buy the window? We've had visual noise, now let's get to the audio noise. Part 7. The cabin karaoke session. The walls on these trains are paper thin, but some people think their cabin is soundproof. They talk on the phone at the top of their lungs, watching videos without headphones. The cabin next to mine, at 2 a.m., a couple was fighting. I swear I heard every single word. Something about the husband named Hung and how his wife spent all their money on a handbag. The whole corridor lost sleep. The next morning, the nuisance continued. Part 8. The luggage invasion. When you board, they tell you to only bring carry-ons into the cabin, and large suitcases go in the luggage car. But no, this one lady dragged 3 oversized suitcases into her cabin. When they didn't fit, she just tossed one out into the narrow corridor. The steward, pushing the breakfast cart, couldn't get by. Other passengers had to squeeze and contort themselves to pass. A literal human roadblock. Part 9. The fatal confusion between steward and servant. The steward for my cabin was incredibly sweet, but the guest in the cabin opposite, I don't know who he thought he was. He snapped his fingers to call the staff. Hey, you, get me some water, quick! His tone was like a king ordering a peasant. That person is a steward, your cabin manager, who curates your experience, not your personal servant. The result? After the first day, the steward did his job, and only his job. Not one smile, not one extra service. That man lost all his privileges. And that royal attitude continued in the dining car. Part 10. Demanding a buffet in a 5-star restaurant. The menu on the train is Michelin designed. Every dish is art. But this one lady tried to bring her own food? I don't like this. I brought some snacks. Can the kitchen heat them up for me? Oh my god, lady, do you think this is a public microwave? They don't have messy buffets, and they certainly won't heat up your leftovers. This selfishness didn't stop. Part 11. The view monopolizer. Back to the observation car. There was one perfect armchair facing the valley. A man sat down, and he sat there for 3 hours. He napped, he read a book, he did not budge. People lined up, walking past, giving him the stink eye. But no, he was determined to settle down right there. So, for the entire train, no one got to sit in the best spot, all because of one person. Night fell, and the peace was shattered again. Part 12. The noisy corridor dance. The train corridors are carpeted, but if you stomp, it still makes noise. A group of guests came back late and, joking loudly at 1 a.m., they carelessly let their shoes bump against other cabin doors. Just... People who were sleeping woke up with a jolt. Not just noisy, they also caused gridlock. Part 13. The lavatory blockade. The shared lavatory in the lounge car is tiny, but there are always inconsiderate people. They stand right in front of the door, fixing their hair, putting on makeup, or just waiting. You want to get out? They don't move. You have to say, "Excuse me, can I get by?" They just glare at you and move exactly 5 centimeters. Speechless. But all of that was still not as bad as Part 14. The one who smoked out a heritage site. The rules are clear. No smoking. Even e-cigarettes. This train is all antique wood and rare fabrics, and yet the smoke alarm blared in the middle of the night. Staff came running. Turns out, some young guy was vaping in his cabin. He even denied it. "No, I just sprayed perfume." Burnt tobacco perfume? Creative. Not only was he fined heavily, but he was watched like a criminal by the staff for the rest of the trip. And the pinnacle of absurdity. Part 15.
when you demand a burger in the middle of Paris.
The final dinner. The menu is lobster and foie gras. A passenger waves the waiter over. "I don't eat this stuff. Get me a cheeseburger with extra ketchup." The waiter was stunned. The Michelin-trained chef must have been crying in the kitchen. This is the Orient Express, not McDonald's. Of course, they didn't have it. So he just sat there, pouting, eating nothing, while everyone around him enjoyed a perfect meal.
They learned an expensive lesson that on a luxury train, your behavior is the only currency that matters, and theirs was completely worthless. These passengers weren't just rude, they were offensive. They paid thousands of dollars for a perfect experience, and instead, they used it to engineer their own downfall. There is no sympathy, there is no redemption. You thought that situation would be simple, but it seems that behavior was truly self-destructing and ruined key underlying relationships. You'd have thought the situation would be simple, but it seemed that behavior was self-destructing and ruining key relationships. So, you see, what was the result? For the whole trip, these gods were completely iced out. The staff did the bare minimum, nothing more. The other passengers looked at them like strange creatures, actively avoiding them. They turned themselves into outcasts in the most luxurious space imaginable. You thought that situation would be simple, but it seems that behavior was truly self-destructing and ruined key underlying relationships. You'd have thought the situation would be simple, but it seems that behavior was self-destructing and ruining key relationships. These passengers weren't just rude, they were offensive. They paid thousands of dollars for a perfect experience, and instead, they used it to engineer their own downfall. There is no sympathy, there is no redemption. They learned an expensive lesson that on a luxury train, your behavior is the only currency that matters, and theirs was completely worthless.